Hey folks out there in YouTube land, it's Joel Ellison and Powder right here, coming at you with some of the work we've been doing here. We're about to wrap up one of our longer term projects, and I thought we'd share some of the results with you. And let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, here we have a stock that we've been working on. A couple months ago, an individual handed me a barreled action at the gun show and asked me could I make a stock for this. This is a Winchester Model 100. It is a very nice old school semi-auto rifle. This particular one is in 308 Winchester. They were also available in 243 Winchester and a couple other calibers that have not really survived to this day. But yeah, this is a stock that we made from a blank from some of our friends in the industry. This is actual walnut hardwood from Missouri. I just cannot get, what I can't get over is how nice the burl on that hardwood looks. I'm trying to move the camera around so you get the light to catch it just right. Oh, that is gorgeous. But yeah, this was a very rough piece of wood when we started, and here it is now. This is about ready to go out to the customer again. We're just waiting on one part from Winchester, specifically the firing pin, to make this a functioning firearm again. Let me take you back and show you more of how this functions and what all goes on inside it. It's kind of M14-esque, sort of, if you squint real hard, but kind of M1 Garand, M1 Garand. Let's see, I'm going to take you up top first. It's drilled and tapped for scope bases, since this is intended for hunting, well, that's kind of what you'd want to do with it. There are iron sights on it. Front bead, it's nice and small, nice and precise. Not the greatest for old aging eyes. And the rear sight just kind of flips up. Looks a lot like a Ruger 1022's basic iron sight. Not a whole lot going on there. Let me pause the video real quick and I'll flip it around. I'll show you some markings. Stand by. Alright. Here we have the classic Winchester logo. Model 100, caliber 308 Winchester, and made in USA, windproof steel. That's just bragging about the quality of their steel. We have a couple of proof marks. They're on the receiver and on the barrel itself. And we have a serial number. And that's kind of it. We do also have some odd holes back here. These are drilled and tapped. Those are just plugs in there. They're drilled and tapped the same thread pitch and size as the ones on top, presumably for mounting, if you have a scope mount that kind of goes around the top and off the side for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what those are for, but there they are. Let me go ahead and show you how to take these down, and let's get started. Okay, so I don't really have a really great way to show you all this without, suspending a camera from the ceiling or something. So, in any case, we have box magazine down here. You can load 4 rounds in it and still insert it in the rifle. You can stuff 5 in it, but I don't know about you, I can't stuff it in this thing. I can't slam it in hard enough to make it work. The action is, of course, a charging handle on the back, and it locks open on the magazine only. When we pull the magazine release to eject the magazine, we've got these couple little grasping grooves. You heard it click, and once I pull out the magazine, the action's going to close. Like that. Alright, so we have semi-auto action, a nice rotating bolt head. We'll show that a little better here in a sec. But yeah, now that we have assured ourselves, both visually and tactily, that there are no rounds in the firearm, let's go ahead and continue with disassembly. We're going to start with the front, up here at this sling swivel, we have a very large screw that we're going to remove. Let's go ahead and take that out. I know this is very riveting YouTube content. Take that out. Don't lose this. And we also have a very small screw back here, right behind the trigger guard. And that requires a much smaller screwdriver bit. The front one looks like it could be opened with a coin, which is probably their intention. And the trigger on this is actually not that bad. It's very M1 Garand-like. I'll show you the mechanism here in a sec. But once we have that screw out, all right. Now, in order to get the action out of the stock, we have to pull the charging handle back and hold it. And then we can, hang on, there we go. Then we can lift the front of the barrel out. And the whole thing just comes right out. Ease that forward. Then we can take a little better look at how little wood there is in this stock. Yeah, all that from here all the way out to here. I did a little bit of barrel bedding with acro glass just to make sure it all returns to the same point every time. We have this piece of metal here in the back. That is held in with a long bolt all the way from the stock, back of the stock about right. The head of the bolt is about right here, but it goes all the way up into, it threads into this thing. This is also acro glass bedded back here, just to provide a little dimensional stability, make sure it doesn't go anywhere when you fire off rounds of .308 in this thing, which, if you don't know, is quite violent. Let me go ahead and take you through more of the action here. I'm going to show you more of the operating bits. We got our double nested recoil spring here, and we have a gas piston. And it's long stroke, meaning the piston stays attached to the bolt throughout its operating cycle. It's not a short stroke like a M1 carbine or AR-18 style system. So yeah, it's more AK-like or M14-like in that case. Let's see, we have a simple push-button safety. Safety on, and if you see red, safety's off, and it's ready to fire. The magazine will it's just a little simple spring release. Nice and simple. These magazines are not easy to come by the way. I saw some listed for sale for about $100 each. So yeah, don't lose these. If you have them, hang on to them. If you need some, then good luck. But yeah, that flips in there. Release clip is at the front for some reason, and just a little notch there, and a little notch there at the back. Now we get to the interesting bit. Let me reset the camera, and we'll be right back. Stand by. Okay, folks, we've reset to take down the action, but a certain member of our staff has decided that my arms are a good place to be right now. But yeah, we also, let me show you more of the stock here. We also fitted and inletted a butt plate that's original and vintage to these rifles. Let me bring it around. So you can see it. There we are. Yeah, right there. Yep. That's actual vintage Winchester rifles. That's just a plastic butt plate. Yep. But we also have attached a sling swivel. Had to do a good bit of work to get the block here at the back of the stock to nestle in and fit nicely. But yeah, it's actually fit quite well to the stock. If you're unfamiliar with acro glass, that creates a perfect mold of whatever component you put against it. So long as you have, it's a two-part epoxy rosin, and it allows you to get very perfect impressions of anything you need to get absolutely perfect in a stock, so that it returns to the same exact point of recoil every single time. Now, in order to disassemble the rifle itself a little more, we have, you see this notch? We're actually going to align that right about here-ish. There's a little pin we push out, and when you do that, make sure you're holding on to the bottom metal, or the trigger guard, trigger assembly, and because these two recoil springs are going to suddenly and violently, quite violently push that away from you. So best hold on to that. But from here you can see a little bit more of the rotating bolt head. Well, actually, before we do that, let's actually take off this little clip. This is part of the gas system. When a bullet is fired, it impinges upon a little port that's drilled in the barrel, comes into this gas block, flows down into here, and we'll see the piston a little better here in a sec. There's a little piston in here that actually drives the whole bolt carrier back and cycles the action, ejects the spent round, puts in a new round, closes the bolt, and we go from there. Yeah, from here you can see rotating bolt head. Whoop, you can also see the back of a cat quite well. Excuse me, girl. But yeah, you have a bit of rotating bolt action, locks up right there. You can also see it from the bottom. 3 lugs, so it only has to rotate 1/3 of a revolution. But yeah, that's about full draw back there, and it goes to there. We'll go ahead and take that pin out, and we'll be right back. Stand by. Okay, I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of taking the pin out. That's it. And that pin just sits in this little block under here. That's pretty much all it is, just a lug on the receiver. But yeah, from here, we can much more freely operate the action. The recoil spring and its guide rod has come out. Got a nested pair of recoil springs, an outer and an inner, and a guide rod. That all slides up inside the action bar / bolt carrier, whatever you want to call it. In order to get that out of the rifle, we have to remove this little clip up here, and this little cap will come off, and we'll be able to pull that out. Stand by while I do that. Be right back. Okay, we've gone ahead and removed this little clip. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus here. Yep, there he goes. Yeah. It's just a little metal clip that holds on this little cap. There we go. Let me see if I can get the camera to not fall over. That'd be great. And this cap just unscrews with that cap off. And with that off, we can slide this back. Slide back this little sleeve. And this whole assembly comes out the back. This particular sleeve, take note of, there's one flat spot on it right here. That right there is the, that goes up against the gas block here. When you're reassembling that, it should be pretty obvious that, oh no, it's not going all the way in, until you turn it around and boop, there it goes. We also have some gas bleed off slots and a hole right up there, and we get to the bolt carrier itself. But yeah, so yeah, here's the bolt. Outside the receiver, it kind of flops around because it's only held with one pin, and yeah, that's kind of it. Ordinarily, you would see a firing pin sticking out the back, right back here, but that particular part is under recall from Winchester. That was started in the 1990s, and yeah, it turns out the firing pin sometimes has a tendency to stick in the forward position or can break. It's rather delicately built, the originals, and it can break and cause unintended firing of the firearm. So yeah, if you have one of those, I'd recommend seeing Winchester's website. You can send it back to them. They'll send you a new one and a new retainer and whatnot, and you can go from there. You can see the action of the 3-lug rotating bolt. That's the unlocked position. It's the 2 dual spring ejectors and an extractor around the face. That's the locked position. And yeah, that's really all it takes to lock and unlock it. And let's see, that's held in with a single pin right here. I can go ahead and use our punch if I can see it. There we go. Punch that out. And the whole bolt comes off. By the way, if you have the bolt off, don't bend these. These are kind of spring-like and very, as you can see, that kind of vibrates a bit. If you need to get the head of the piston off here, that is just a big old roll pin, and that's kind of all it is that's holding that on. But yeah, we have the bolt here. The firing pin is held in with, and the whole rest of it is held in with a little pin right here. You can just push that out ordinarily. I don't think I'll need a block or anything, but I might. And that is bi-directional and is held in by the actual it's held in just by the receiver and the virtue of it being there. But yeah, that's kind of it. I'll go ahead and reassemble this, and I'll share some more thoughts with you. Stand by. Hang on, before we reassemble, I had told you I'd take you through the trigger group a little bit. See if I can see that a little better in the light. We have our push button safety off, safety on. See, with our safety off, I'm guiding this down here with my finger, but if you pull the trigger, boom, there goes the hammer, goes forward. You can see a little bit of, there's a 2-hook mechanism there, right up here. That's the main sear, and that is the disconnector catch. And you have 2 hook surfaces on the hammer. That right there is the main sear, and that is where the disconnector hook hits. So when you fire this, boom, hammer's gone forward, you're still holding trigger, and because this is semi-auto, it catches on the disconnect hook, and then transfers to the main hook. Just like an M1 Garand, just like an M14, just like an AK. It's a pretty darn good trigger, nice and reliable, and decently light pull. In any case, let me put this back together and I'll share with you some more thoughts. Stand by. All right, we have her back together. So you might be wondering, so Joel, why did these things go away? Why can't you, they aren't made anymore. Well, why didn't they stick around? Well, tell you the truth, these things are, I don't know, they're a nice, neat little gee whiz gizmo thing, but they don't really do anything better or more than what a average bolt action will do. By 1972, when these went out of production, they really didn't. They gave way to more popular offerings from Winchester and others in the market, and by that point, even semi-auto, other semi-auto 308s were more available and readily accessible. And plus, they were rather expensive to begin with. And it's just not what the American consumer market wanted. Can these be accurate? Yes, with good load development. Is it ever as accurate or as adaptable as a bolt action? No, not really. Just the sheer nature of, like, from the base of the barrel all the way to here, to the sling swivel, you really can't bed the action. You can't fully support it or free float it really, because it needs the support at the front and at the back. But yeah, it really doesn't do anything better than a standard bolt action. You're limited to like 4, maybe 5 rounds if you Barney load it, and that's it. Let's see, they did make larger magazines, but they are even harder to come by and more expensive than these little 4-rounders. But yeah, but in any case, we have brought this old girl back from the dead. Without the stock, it's really impossible to shoot. But yeah, this will be a very nice little hunting rifle for someone someday. If you'd like to support us directly, and if you're in the Greenville, South Carolina area, we will be at the Greenville Gun Show, December 21st and 22nd of 2024. Come out, say hi, grab you a patch, grab a t-shirt. Powder won't be there because they don't allow animals, but I will be, and if you're lucky, my wife might be. In any case, feel free to do all the good YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.